international crime organization. And frankly, we crushed it. Investigators uncovered multiple bank accounts used to launder proceeds from illegal drug trafficking. Records show large cash deposits, regular wire transfers, funds moving from New York to Oklahoma, and payments made to straw owners and criminal associates. This was a national criminal operation exploiting Oklahoma. To give you background on the scope of this investigation, we initiated this case on March 20, 2024. During the years 2024 and 2025, we executed on these 50 search warrants, and in November of 2025, evidence was presented to the multi-county grand jury, and an 18-count indictment for racketeering was returned. Last Thursday and Friday, on January 29 and 30, we arrested 19 targeted individuals across multiple states for their involvement in this organization, and we arrested one bonus defendant who was at the wrong place at the wrong time. The criminal organization involved individuals operating in 8 states: Oklahoma, New York, Texas, Nevada, California, Colorado, Illinois, and Washington. Money flowed to and from 12 states: New York, Nevada, Texas, California, New Mexico, Missouri, Georgia, Illinois, Oregon, Washington, Oklahoma, and the nation of China. And illegal marijuana was trafficked into 5 states: Oklahoma, New York, Georgia, Illinois, and Texas. This was interstate trafficking, plain and simple. Operation Blunt Force would not have been possible without the extraordinary coordination and professionalism of those represented on this stage. I want to thank the law enforcement partners in Oklahoma and from across the country, federal, state, and local, for their commitment to public safety and the rule of law. And I want to personally thank Chief Agent Jeff Bowles and Organized Crime Task Force Chief Steve Blevins, Criminal Division Chief Attorney Jimmy Harmon, and Deputy Attorney General Dane Towery. Operation Blunt Force is exactly what criminal law enforcement looks like. And let me be clear, we are not done. As Attorney General, I will continue to shut down marijuana operations across Oklahoma. We will target organized crime. We will work with ICE and DEA and other federal partners, and we will enforce the law aggressively and fairly. This operation reflects a simple principle that I believe in, and that President Trump has made clear. Law matters. Borders matter. Enforcement matters. Oklahoma is no longer a safe haven for foreign-backed criminal enterprises, cartels, or black market trafficking. I'm happy to take your questions. I invite Chief Agent Bowles and Blevins and Deputy Attorney General Towery to join me at the podium for any specifics. Are there questions?
What was this criminal mastermind? I think he's back from New York.
He was. Steve, if you want to be more specific.
Yes, sir. The head of the organization, as well as another individual, were at the time in New York, and through our partnership with the New York DEA office, NYPD, and Queens DEA office, we were able to track down and capture them.
So New York City.
New York City, yes.
Some of the other people that were arrested were tied to other farms like Sneed's Farm, so were there multiple operations going on here?
Yes. Dane, you want to answer that?
There were over 20 LLCs and businesses and farms that were involved in this particular scheme. So we had individuals that had different roles that they would play in the enterprise. Some would be straw person owners. Some were Oklahomans that were those straw person owners, and then others were specifically tied to the Houchin organization that would facilitate the fraud to obtain the licenses and manufacture marijuana unlawfully.
Mr. Attorney General, can you comment on allegations that there has been at least one, I think they call it overseas Chinese police station in Oklahoma City?
In some of these arrests and busts, we've discovered Chinese uniforms and Chinese badges, law enforcement badges. At this point, it would only be speculation on our behalf, but it appears as though the CCP has embedded law enforcement in their criminal organizations, principally to enforce their organizations.
And can you give us a scope? Is that one of the things that, you know, would be concerned if they, and again, I've heard the rumors, I don't necessarily want people to air that, but, you know, I mean, I've heard that rumor exists in Oklahoma City, in a core part of Oklahoma City, and I was curious, you know, is that something that remains under investigation?
So to allay any concern to the citizenry, any Chinese law enforcement that we've discovered, any activity in Oklahoma is directed toward the Chinese. It's not directed toward citizens. So that's what's nascent in our investigation, so we have much further investigation to go.
I did see that some of the people arrested in this operation have already bonded out of jail. Are you concerned they'll flee? They're not from
You
here?
know, Dan, I'll let you answer that.
Yeah, I mean, that's always a concern. We received high bonds and actually no bonds on the top four. Obviously there are different levels of culpability, different levels of involvement, and their bonds should reflect that. But that is certainly something that we will continue to monitor as well. And if they do run, we'll go find them.
How are they being monitored?
We will be monitoring them to see if they come to court, if they're in constant contact with their defense attorney, and you know that's the best we can do at that point.
Politically, sir, the governor called yesterday for a state question to, I think he said, shut it down in terms of the marijuana industry, medical marijuana industry in Oklahoma. Do you support that? Do you think do you prefer reform? Where is your position regarding this?
So it is a complicated issue. Now, clearly, when we passed this law in 2018, we were asleep at the switch, right? So we did not put proper protocol in place to limit the number of marijuana grow facilities. It was truly the Wild West. We do have in this state probably 1,500 legal Oklahomans producing marijuana just as you would produce wheat or soybean. And so we have to balance the investment in those legal operations with the desire by all law enforcement. I think unanimity. There's unanimity among law enforcement. If we didn't have marijuana at all, it would be better for the state. But we have to be aware of, and if the governor goes forward with this plan, or the future governor does, then we would need to reimburse these individuals because it will effectively be a taking. So as the lawyer, I'm concerned about the taking. As a law enforcement officer, I'd love for it to be gone. It would. One of the earliest briefings I got from the FBI said, I said, what can we do? And he said, what you have to do is shut down all marijuana operation, and it's unfortunate. I will also add on that, it's an illusion to think that we're offsetting the tax dollars with the cost of law enforcement. I could not even begin to estimate the numbers of hundreds of millions of dollars spent in law enforcement to enforce black market, to eradicate black market marijuana, fentanyl production, sex trafficking, human trafficking. In Oklahoma, it's probably 100-to-1 ratio. So it's this bargain for exchange, Oklahoma got the bad end of it.
If there's no other questions, if I could ask you the status of the criminal case against Ms. Baez, Ms. Trina, known well here around the Capitol. She was charged in connection with former Representative Pittman. And you pleaded that out. If it's changed, let me know. But at the time, I don't think that was pleaded against.
She will be offered a plea similar to Ms. Pittman.
Do you have concern that, it certainly seemed that there was a message, can you make this check for me, and an hour later or so had the check. Might raise a question of whether that was the first time somebody had done that. Is there an ongoing investigation in terms of how long that had been happening in the state capitol?
I think that we've concluded that the state of Oklahoma was not injured. Other parties were defrauded, and the restoration, the funds that they'll have to repay will reflect the scope of their injury.
Time for one more question?
How's the governor's campaign coming?
Hey, it's I'm a full-time attorney general. I mean, I do a little bit of that campaigning on my part-time.
Will I see you at the next execution?
You may very well, yes. Well, thank you very much for attending, and thank you for the attention to this very important matter.
Thank you.
organized